Welcome all alive to my nest. Here's Now Here, and we have news from Rusty Lake. They have posted a new teaser. And you know, it starts to make sense now. All these hints about pens and paper have finally come together, because this will be almost everything you need to play the Rusty Lake tabletop game currently in development. What if we told you we were working on a pen and paper escape room experience? Think of a Rusty Lake tabletop escape room, but all you'll need is pen, paper, and a game master to guide you through the story. Well, I'm sincerely surprised. Wouldn't say it's completely out of nowhere. After all, one of my friends guessed as much, but still, that was rather unexpected. And considering other teasers, they've been thinking about it for more than a year. That's what they hinted at on their roadmaps. So what do we see in the accompanying photo? A bunch of people playing this new game, or rather its prototype, right at the Rusty Lake office in Amsterdam. A lot of paper. Almost every person has a clean sheet and, of course, a pen. Except for the game master, who has some structured D&D-esque sheet and who seems to be Martin Lewis. I figured one of the devs would be at the head of the table here, but recently we don't get many photos of the guys, so I'm not sure. And the man wearing a Paradox t-shirt would be Robin Russ, just so you know. But most importantly, we see a bunch of familiar printouts. Last time I mistook them for a storyboard for the next game, which will probably be about the Day of the Lake. Now it's clear it's a completely different project and a new experience indeed. And indeed, it's on paper, just as they said back then. I recognize up to 3 types of these printouts beside the GM. For one, there are 2 decks. I can't figure out the smaller one, but the one on the larger side contains the familiar image of Mr. Crow. There's also a big solitary image of a chessboard. And in the middle of the table, cards like this form some kind of structure. We could be looking for other hints in the background, however I found nothing but the dev's souvenirs. So I suppose this will be some kind of a customizable D&D-like room escape game. Or maybe even fully custom. Although I hope it's the former, and there is the story they are talking about. I really want to get at least some basic lore from that. And it's impossible without a framework like time period, location, and conflict. And if they really exist, I stand on the statement I made previously when I saw these cards for the first time. The Vanderboom family house, or at least the lab underneath, sometime after Rusty Lake roots have concluded. However, keep in mind it's all based on a single card. New info can easily change everything. And yeah, this likely means that the setting is unrelated to the next video game by Rusty Lake, which now seems less about the Vanderboom brothers and more about Dale arriving at the hotel. Not sure how the tabletop game will be distributed and monetized. After all, there's a strong emphasis on just pen and paper. Objectively, all they need to make it work are some downloadable digital files for rules, GM sheets, and supposed cards, but I still hope these are but prototypes and the final product will be more sturdy. Or at least there will be a fancy physical edition in the merch store. I would definitely get one, for a reasonable price, no matter if there's heavy lore inside or not. And probably make a mod for a tabletop simulator or something along those lines. Besides not being sure about the potential ways of monetization, I'm uncertain about the game's success too. I've seen different opinions. Some fans are really excited, but others are rather skeptical. The target audience of this project is unclear to them, and frankly speaking, to me as well. It's hard to imagine people playing tabletop games based on such a niche franchise, and it's hard to imagine enough of Rusty Lake fans gathering online for the same purpose. But personally, I stay mildly optimistic. I always welcome experiments, no matter how successful they end up. The next Paradox and the Past Within are impossible without the White Door and Underground Blossom, which, mind you, despite not being as groundbreaking, are pretty solid games in their own right. So that's it for today. Subscribe to the channel not to miss Rusty Lake news and also theories. Here was Nowhere, I wish good luck to the devs, and remember, question everything in Rusty Lake.